Welcome back, everybody. It's your time to EdUp on the EdUp Experience podcast, where we make education your business. We've made education your business, and we will continue to make education your business, but we've done that here this week in Anthology Together 2023 in Nashville at the Gaylord Opryland Resort and Hotel, and it has been absolutely epic. We have met with people in institutions, in ed tech companies, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft. It has been absolutely off the chain. You couldn't even get into this studio. There was lines. There's still a line out the door. It's just absolutely incredible. You can't see what's going on because, of course, the filming only has us framed, so it's hard to describe the mayhem happening around us right now.
Where are we again?
We are here live at the AT studio.
Nice.
Which I got to tell you, Anthology hooked this up.
This is awesome.
This studio is legit. I don't have a legit sound effect, but if I had one and it said legit, I would be playing it right now because that's how good the studio setup is.
Oh,
right?
100%.
It is incredible.
Off the hook.
There you go.
Off the hook.
How about a sound effect for that?
1999 called and wants off a hook back.
All right, we're going to go
Ladies and gentlemen, my guest.
This is going to be a good one.
My guest today. He's Dave Becker, and he is the CEO of Campus ESP. Dave, what's happening?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing
Thanks
great.
for having
How are
me.
you?
Yeah.
We're honored to have you. Tell us a little bit about Campus ESP.
Yes.
Campus ESP. Well, we are a startup based out of Philadelphia, and we help colleges and universities engage with parents and families to support student yield and student retention. And parents and families are just really, really engaged in post-secondary education. And a lot of schools don't know how to deal with that energy, and we focus it back on the students and helping the students.
All right.
Amazing.
How does this work exactly? So when you say engage parents and families and students, what does that look like? Through email campaigns or through what? Through messaging? Through
It's like an all-in-one experience. It is.
We like the word experience.
As
by the
we
way.
do.
Exactly. And it is like a portal meets email, newsletter, meets text messaging. It's really wow.
Nice.
That's an amazing sound effect. That one caught me off guard. The thing is, parents are going to be super engaged no matter what. And so if you don't give them some information about how their students doing and how they're progressing and some information about the school, they probably go to the dark side, which is over involvement. So,
Execute Order 66.
that was a complete softball.
I knew he was going to put that one. Well done, Dave. Well done. Thank you for the setup.
So anyway, we help schools deal with that energy and focus it on things like enrollment. That really makes a big difference in their outcomes.
So
wait. What does ESP stand for?
ESP stands for Campus Experience for Students and Parents.
There you go.
FYI. I'm on your site, which, by the way, it is a beautiful site.
Oh,
your beautiful
thank you.
website.
I think Melissa over there would love to.
Well
hear
done,
that.
Melissa.
Nice job.
Melissa,
Bravo.
are you the queen of the website? Is that what's happening?
done.
The designer or you're the maintainer of the site?
Well done.
She's the vice president of marketing. She'll let you know that.
Okay. Melissa, the vice president of marketing. Well done on the website. It says, and this is so true, families are the top influencers of today's college students.
Totally.
Campus ESP keeps them informed. Do you think we forget that in higher ed? Is that why Campus ESP exists? Do we focus so much on the student who traditional student who might be 17 or 18? And it's like, well, wait a minute, the mom and the dad or some adult is going to be helping them make this decision. We got to keep them in the loop here.
Yeah. Parents are told in high school that the more involvement, the better.
Yes.
The more that they're involved, the more that they're engaged, the better their student's going to do. And then all of a sudden, the student goes to college. They're usually part of the financial experience of the student. And they're paying all this money, and they're told, "Hey, you need to back off now. Now's the time to let your student succeed on their own." And of course, everybody wants the student to succeed on their own. But this is a huge investment. The average cost of education just goes up and up every single year. And that is a lot of debt put on not only on an 18-year-old student, but on the family as well. So a lot of times we also say student success is family success. And that's the way a lot of families look at it.
I like that a lot. That's cool.
You have a lot of solutions. You have Campus ESP for student enrollment, for family communication, FERPA management. I'd like to know about that one a little bit. For parent giving, for 2-year colleges. So start with FERPA management. That's a really interesting solution. what does that mean exactly? I mean, besides the fact with FERPA, you don't have to go into detail. I think we all know what that part means. But campus ESP for FERPA management.
So a big part of the parent experience is getting information about their student, and a lot of that information is generally FERPA protected, meaning the student has to give direct access to the parent. And the reality is, students don't really care. They just give their parents their IDs and passwords. In fact, 61% of parents have their students' college ID and password. Yeah, some early research that we did there.
Do I look like I know what a JPEG is?
So that one threw me off too. That was a good one. So what we do is we make that, we put up that whole experience online so that parents can make the FERPA waiver request to their student. The students can decide what to grant access to, and then once they do, then parents see just the information that students want them to see. And then when there's something that's updated on the student record, let's say financial aid or unmet financial aid requirements or a new bill or a hold, that goes to the parent. And what we find is that when you send those alerts to parents, it actually helps with student retention.
Bullseye.
And so we see that, like, generally those schools can experience for students that have a parent in campus ESP, the retention can be up to 15% higher, which is insane.
Yes.
What, you don't have a
blown.
Well,
come on,
you don't have
a sound
this time,
Joe.
You blew my mind, and
He
I
got
couldn't
cut off,
even
John.
I couldn't even hit a button fast
Your
enough.
hand just blew off. You can't even reach the keyboard.
Let me tell you why. The world of higher ed is so disruptive right now. We're seeing colleges close.
Yeah.
Enrollment is a main issue. We think about enrollment. I think when we think about enrollment, that doesn't make any sense.
We can edit that out.
That's a lot of thinking, though.
I don't edit out my mistakes.
Never.
They're, anyway, we think, okay, that's new.
Right.
We need new students. But if your retention goes up, you need less new students.
Right.
Like, this is a way to solve the enrollment problem. If my retention can go up by 15%, I mean,
That's
this is
huge, man.
massive, right?
And here's the thing. Parents want to hear from the schools. Believe it or not, when you look at parents of prospective students and parents of current students, I think it's 88% want communication from the school at least weekly.
Tell them like it is.
Whoa.
Which is crazy. So this is a generational thing that has occurred here. It's magnified by the cost of education. So parents are just more involved. And then after COVID, they're just more tied in because students need more of their support. They have like delayed onset of adulthood in many ways because they just didn't get the experiences that COVID limited them from. So I mean, parents are going to be engaged. And those schools that fight against parent involvement, it doesn't make any sense.
Outrageous.
I know. Why would they? That's crazy.
Parents want to help the students.
The buyer. They're the buyer, right? You don't want to go against the buyer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not going to help you if you're talking about regular sales, which higher education, you're selling something, you have buying influences. You have to understand all the buying influences. Right. They have buying power. If you don't understand the influences and who has the buying power, you're not going to have a sale. That means less enrollment. When I look at campus ESP for student enrollment, I want to know about this. Tell me about it, because I want my challenges to be solved.
Well, there's a couple ways that we use the student enrollment module, which is focused on parents of prospective students. Number one, if a parent is engaging you, if a parent of a prospective student is engaging you through your portal, you know that they're probably doing that because their student is really interested in your school. So you can use that to understand the likelihood to enroll for the student. In other words, if the parent just deletes your emails, more than likely, their student's not that interested in the school.
Yikes!
So that's one area. And the second area is using, we call it like nudging the nudgers. The parents are the ultimate nudgers. So if you're trying to increase your deposits or increase your applications or get the student to visit campus, the student's not going to visit campus on their own.
Right.
Their parent is hugely influential.
Somebody's going to take them too.
Somebody's going to take them. And generally, if you've ever been on a college tour, the person asking the questions, it's the parent.
Oh, man.
So we're trying to get the information, nudge the parents down the enrollment funnel, and it has like just an absolute direct impact on enrollment yield. Yet generally what we see is yield can go up to 5% higher when you're communicating with the parents. You still have to do it with the students. It's not saying you're moving past the students, but you're influencing the students by messaging the parents.
Dave, I'm just looking through your website and I see this bit right here. I'm going to read it out loud.
Go for it.
Like most great ideas, the start of campus ESP happened over a beer.
Cheers.
Nice.
Tell us how this idea comes to be. Besides this part.
Cheers.
You don't need to go into great detail.
Cheers.
I'm remembering last night for some reason. Yeah, so
That's awesome.
so I've been in education technology for 25 years, and I've been working with colleges in all sorts of different ways. And the idea for Campus ESP was really focused around engaging students directly. And a school very early on that we went to in rural Texas basically said, students aren't even logging into these systems anymore. It's their parents who are logging in as their students. And I'm from Philadelphia. I'm skeptical about everything. I didn't believe it.
We choose truth over facts.
So
Philadelphia.
for the next 2 years, we basically just researched the idea. So we did that. The initial idea for Campus ESP probably came about in 2013, but for the next 2 years, we did research. We worked with about 14 different schools, surveyed 8,000 parents, a lot of students. Just understand it, because I'm Gen X and we didn't talk to our parents at all. So this was eye-opening for me. And then, very early on, instead of engaging students, we said, let's influence the students through their parents. And as far as I know, I don't think anybody else does what Campus ESP does. And we're, very innovative from an enrollment perspective. And I believe helpful from a social impact perspective, because parents need help supporting their students.
And we know that this is a big problem. The traditional age, what we consider the traditional age college student, 18 years old, this is the population that is expected to decline with the big enrollment cliff, or the great enrollment cliff, or the semi-great enrollment cliff, however you decide to imagine what it is. And I'm on your research, right? I'm looking at the bit of the research and some of the results. I'll read these here. 37% of families interacted with their student daily. 61% of families had their students' college ID and password. 41% of families expected communication from their students' college at least weekly. And today that number is 85%.
Crazy.
The consumer expectations are changing. And I wonder if that has to do with debt too, like debt management, financial, the confusion around college. And it's like, okay, wait a minute. We need to make sure that we're protecting our kids from this misinformation that can come from higher ed sometimes. What do you think?
It's a huge issue, the cost of education. And I think what a lot of people don't understand is you're asking a student, an 18, and by the way, I have twins who are 17 years old. You're asking them to make a decision that could saddle them with debt for the rest of their lives, and schools don't want their parents to be involved. That's crazy. Come on. There's no way I want my kid to not, there's no way they understand the financial implications of the decision that they're making. So,
well, let's start the insanity.
So let's start the insanity and help the students. And, it's interesting because when we first started Campus ESP, I think a lot of schools viewed parents as problems.
Oh yeah. Good point.
And since I'd say the last couple of years, everybody's kind of shifted gears and they really see parents, as we always say, parents as partners.
Yeah.
But they see parents as an opportunity, especially with so much. Schools have so much more limited access to information about through test optional and things like that. So parents are a way to understand more about the student, reach them more clearly, and make an impact on their enrollment.
How does Campus ESP integrate with the other technologies, with Anthology or with CRMs? How, so if I'm on the website, I'm thinking about Campus ESP, I call you up, which I know I heard you only take phone calls between midnight and 6 a.m. So anybody's interested in Campus ESP.
Which time zone are you talking about?
we interested, how do I understand this technology working with my stack?
Right. We are technology agnostic, I guess I'd say. The portal only takes 3 weeks to set up. I think that's one of the things we're most proud about. You get so into the features and the functions, but if you can't bring it live, it's not going to help you. So this is only like a 3-week implementation. And one of the ways that we help Campus ESP integrate into your stack is by tying it to like CRM information.
Okay.
So we'll pull over on a nightly basis information about the student, specifically the student, the parent, and the enrollment stage of the student, so that we can have enrollment-specific messaging sent to the parent that aligns to what the student's receiving. And
so am I working within Campus ESP to create the messaging?
Yes.
Yes.
I'd say generally you work within Campus ESP. It's everything in one place. What's unique about it is it's not just a platform for messaging. it includes content management, and it's a content library for sending the right messages at the right times. And Campus ESP manages 90% of that content. So like when the FAFSA comes out, something that all students need to know about, and so you can get that information out to their parents, we send it out to all of our customer portals automatically so they can just approve the note going out to parents, and it's out there.
That's amazing. So what's the goal here at the conference? What's next for Campus ESP? Where are you going? What's the growth path?
Well, this is our first conference, first time at the Anthology conference. So this is an amazing experience. It is electric here, which is great.
Amazing.
So, we're having a lot of conversations with schools. We're talking with some more international schools, which has been exciting for us. We're just, expanding our footprint. Right now we're at over 330 schools.
Nice.
And
Wow,
about
awesome.
double from a year ago.
Congrats.
And, we love working with Anthology customers and really with the Anthology team. It's a great ecosystem of partners and of customers.
I like your style, dude.
If you look
I
at the
agree.
list of
I
customers on your website, because I saw them scrolling,
We
we've
don't-
interviewed presidents for many of these organizations here. You've got HBCUs, you've got looks like Catholic institutions, you've got big online institutions, you have big flagship state institutions.
Right.
You're really everywhere. How are you feeling about that growth, about your partners? You think you can go to all 3,800 institutions across the U.S.? I mean,
That's the dream.
that's the dream?
Melissa, what do you think?
Over to the VP of Marketing, Melissa, for making that a reality.
And then
Yeah.
international, right?
Yeah.
I mean, do you work with any international schools yet?
We work with one school in China.
Nice.
And most of our efforts have, we're a small startup company. We're bootstrapped. We don't have massive amounts of funding or anything like that.
Wow.
We've grown through revenue and from building a product around customer requirements, which I think is kind of unique in ed tech.
Yeah.
And we now support 5 of the top 10 largest universities in the United States. We have a lot of HBCUs and HSIs. What people don't realize is family engagement for
Yes.
African-American
Wow.
families and Hispanic Latinx families is higher.
Yes.
Is among the highest. So when you're looking at improving retention in those areas, often an area where schools are looking to improve, families are absolutely the secret weapon. If you can engage with them, you can really make a difference in your student success.
Another secret weapon is my guest today. He is the CEO of Campus ESP. Did you enjoy your experience here on the
I did.
podcast today?
I did.
Thanks for telling us about your organization. We're gonna push it far and wide, let institutions know, because we need to engage parents. We need to make sure that we are communicating with parents, and we need to solve our enrollment challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, you've just EdUp'd.